it's like it's scumbaggy on every level, but it just gets worse and worse and worse. So to basically think that this is a good venture to go down that I should pull my fans into, super scumbaggy. To then go forward and launch even though things are kind of rocky, super scumbaggy. To see how bad things are going and then continue to promote it and be like, well, we're getting a better dev team, we're gonna fix all the problems, we're gonna launch, finally the eggs will crack, all that kind of stuff. Obscenely scummy. And then to know the whole thing's falling apart, but then to just be like, I'm not going to say anything at all, and be like, we're working on another project, it's going to be even better than that one. But people put in lots of money. Some people put in 50,000, 100,000, blah blah blah. Say what you will about people being suckers or rubes and they should have never invested a cent into this, fine, but that doesn't change the scumbag behavior. And the vast majority, unfortunately, of the millions and millions of Logan Paul fans, they're going to be small little baby investors like, oh, I just want to be part of the thing, I want to be part of daddy's community. If you don't know about this, I'll do a quick recap for you. So Logan Paul is one of the many people who turns out doesn't like his fans a lot and just wants their money. He doesn't give two fucks if they become poor or broke. He just wants to scam them for all the money they have and just sell them useless shit to scam them. So what he did to do this is he sold them on this idea. He said he'd been working on it for a really long time. He spent millions of dollars on developing all this kind of incredible art and shit, and he was going to launch an NFT project. This was back when NFTs were kind of like, maybe they aren't massive scams. They're kind of like, I'm kind of curious. These are the hot items I see. Paris Hilton is selling these on Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy Fallon has changed his Twitter account to all NFT shit. Okay, all right, so let's just see what happens. He sells this idea that he's got an evolving NFT, and that you were going to be able to cross these NFTs with other NFTs and evolve new ones, like Pokemon. He sold Pokemon, combined it with NFTs. Turns out he never got past the egg phase, so everyone bought all these eggs, and that's all they ever have been or ever will be. Just eggs. So just people just bought a whole bunch of fucking useless ass eggs for lots and lots of money. And then all of a sudden just pretended like he was on to another project. He didn't even have to do the whole like, oh, sorry, the whole thing fell apart, or I really apologize. He just never acknowledged anything bad ever happened. And was just like, now I'm working on my next thing, my next big thing. This one's going to blow my fans away. I can't wait. And like, but what about the Neopets and the evolution shit? What happened there?
CryptoZoo.
Isn't his brother a creep? Well, apparently they're both creeps for a variety of reasons, but his brother is actually accused of sexual assault, I believe. Yeah, no, he's actually accused of rape. I'd have to look back into the story, but basically there is a very famous TikToker who came forward and said that she had gone to his house and that he, and content warning for this, forced her against her will to give him a blowjob, and she obviously did not consent to any of it, and then he's denied it ever since, and then it just kind of went away. He did that whole like, I'm going to sue this individual. This TikToker, by the way, has not recanted this story or anything, and did not get like, they were already famous before this all happened, and after this happened they were harassed ruthlessly. You know, like she has videos where she's just straight up bawling because it's like, I don't know why people are flooding my DMs with dick pics, and it's fucking horrifying, and it gives me PTSD because I'm a survivor of sexual assault. So yeah, maybe don't do that. I love all my fans who send me very nice letters of encouragement and friendship and stuff like that. But unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. I turn to my DMs because people will not stop flooding them with like dick pics. So fuck all of you.
.co. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
$500,000 Australian.
I'm telling you, just a picture. There's nothing I could do with it.
Wait, you can't even hatch?
No.
We had a issue with CryptoZoo, where our lead developer.
This is just such a fucked up story. I'm sorry. I know that we always say this when it comes down to these fucking big crypto scams, but what the fuck? It's like these people just grift their audiences, fleece them for every last dime, and have zero accountability. And then after the fact, don't even acknowledge they did it. Like in this case, there's no Logan Paul like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe what happened. You know, you trusted me, and I should have. I take it for granted. I'm so like none of that. No, it's just like, yo, no, I'm on to my next idea, dog. This one's gonna be crazy, even crazier than that last one. Yeah, I can't even remember what that one's called.
Took the code that he made, fled to Switzerland, and like held it hostage for $1 million.
He literally never gave me anything at all, ever. And he promised me, 5% tokens and $1 million. He literally never paid me.
Wait a second. Who's Eddie? I thought that all of this was Logan Paul. What's this random guy doing in Logan Paul's project? And who is he? Who is Eddie Ibanez?
To begin answering the question of who Eddie is, I decided to take a deep dive.
I started by looking through all the news articles I could on Eddie, where I found out he graduated from MIT and from there became a data scientist and cybersecurity expert and used that technical background to win a Super Bowl for the Eagles. And there were videos on him too, which all painted him as brilliant and extremely accomplished.
Yes, hi, my name's Eddie Ibanez. I'm a father of three, lead developer here at CryptoZoo.
As a teenager, he successfully hacked AOL from his bedroom. He continued to pursue computer science until attending MIT. He was then recruited out to work for a government agency in cybersecurity, developing software that reverse engineers the location of known government and terrorist threats.
You started with the federal government and you started off really tracking criminals with burner phones and all.
Honestly, after this whole search, I felt more confused than ever. If Eddie's such an amazing guy, why didn't he pay developers? And is he really the puppet master behind CryptoZoo? Or is it someone else? Honestly, I felt like at this point I needed a drink and I needed to ask for help.
Coffee, how's it going?
Not good.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I'm confused about this Eddie
I could be wrong on this, but I think if I'm not mistaken, the layout of CoffeeZilla's like house, you built the robot bar into the same room that you do the detective work from? Or is this a completely different setting? If it's the same place, that probably encourages you to have more encounters at the bar than you probably would have otherwise. I'm just speaking for myself, because who does not enjoy a good libation? If I had a bar built into my set, I'd probably do a lot of just like sliding over to the side here and be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, if you have a Long Island iced tea ready, I'm not gonna, thanks. Yeah, I know. Anyways.
He comes out of nowhere with this CryptoZoo story and
wouldn't it be a coffee bar? It should have been a coffee bar.
Everything about him I find seems great.
So, what's the problem?
Well, everything's...
But also, the prices are pretty high. I know I'm being petty, but like the CoffeeZilla, I think is $15. That's an expensive drink. Yeah, $15 for the CoffeeZilla. It's pretty pricey. I mean, I don't know what's in it. That could be a triple, okay, just to be fair. Also depends if it's free pour. In America, they do free pour. Can't have that in Vancouver. Heavily regulated here.
Well, everything's not great. Everything about this guy just seems too perfect. He's an MIT grad, he works for the military. He even claims he won a Super Bowl. Why would that guy work for Logan Paul?
I don't know, but I can find out. You said his name is Eddie Ibanez?
I think he goes by Eduardo technically, but... Wait, what are you doing?
I'm just looking around. And done.
Well, what'd you find?
A few red flags, a couple of misdemeanors. Ooh, a few court cases. I'll send him over. He got sued by his landlord for not paying rent, sued by his credit card company for not paying his bill.
You can skip that stuff. I just need whatever's relevant to CryptoZoo.
Well, that's basically it. Other than... hold on. No, wait, I did find something. Look at this.
What's this?
It's from a paper in Philly. I barely picked it up. This reporter says Eddie's entire story is fake.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the whole Eddie Ibanez character. This guy Adam Robb investigated it. He says it's a lie.
I gotta find this guy. Send me his info. I got some calls to make.
Coffee!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We met up with Adam Robb, the reporter who's been investigating Eddie Ibanez for a while now. And I wanted to know, what did Adam think of him when they first met?
I wasn't quite sure what to make of him. Based on what I knew about him, he was a MIT grad who went on to work for the CIA and the Defense Department, and I didn't want to waste his time. And it wasn't long after I sat down that I realized he was wasting my time.
Can you tell me about some of the lies Eddie told you?
Eddie has told me so many lies over the course of my 2 interviews with him, and the first lie he told me is probably
over the course of 2 interviews. Wow, that's a high ratio.
The oldest lie that he's told so many people, which is that he's an orphan. I first realized Eddie might be lying to me when I went home the next day and Googled Eddie Ibanez's family. I found a video of Eddie and his wife making rice pudding on a Fox and Friends segment on Fox News. And Eddie's wife, Jackie, explained that she learned the recipe from Eddie's mother.
So in that picture, you've got Jackie Ibanez. You know her along with her husband, Eddie, and her 2 little girls. You love rice pudding. Why is this a family recipe?
Okay, so Eddie's mom made this rice pudding once.
Wait, Eddie's mom? I thought Eddie was an orphan. Well, it turns out the only problem with that is that not only does his mom exist, she's alive and in his life. And it turns out it wasn't just Adam that heard this story either. He told it a lot.
Did you ever meet his mother or his parents?
I did meet his mother.
Did he ever tell you he was an orphan?
Yes.
How did he square that with you?
So that's why I'm so confused. He told me he was an orphan and all this stuff, but then I meet his mom.
He told me he was an orphan and then I met his mother is quite the string of words.
Yeah.
But as insane as these lies are, let's be real, it doesn't explain why CryptoZoo failed. But the next lies kind of do, because part of Eddie's story is also that he went to MIT where he was recruited to the CIA. And it's part of why he was so attractive as a lead developer, all the wild experiences that he had had. But it's just not true.
I emailed the MIT registrar's office and I asked if Eddie Ibanez attended the school, and they confirmed in absolute terms that he never attended MIT.
That's right, the whole orphan to MIT origin story, it wasn't true. And Eddie's whole back.
I hope if you're watching this, you realize that you could, if you want to right now, become one of these top tier programming CEOs for one of these massive fucking crypto companies. You just have to basically do whatever you want. Pull out a piece of paper, take a pen, and then just write whatever you want. You can fantasize. You can live your fantasy. You can just be like, oh, here you go. This is my resume.
Story from here kind of falls apart as well. How could he have been recruited to a government agency out of MIT if he never went to MIT? If this is all seeming crazy to you, you might ask yourself, who would believe all this? And
if this was my first CoffeeZilla episode, yes, I'd be like, whoa, crazy. Can't believe this would happen. But now I'm like, no, actually, this is kind of, I mean, it's pretty much how it goes. No one's honest. Everyone's fucking everyone over in crypto. That seems to be the whole scheme.
This is where Eddie shines. He kind of had a gift for getting people to believe in the lies he told, especially super rich and powerful people for some reason. Like take, for instance, this story, him winning the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. He managed to convince the owner of the New York Yankees that it was true, Barry Klarberg, who completely bought into it without question and told the same story later in a college seminar.
Let's convert right into the work that you did for the Philadelphia Eagles, which led to a Super Bowl championship, led to you getting a Super Bowl ring. Yep. Tell us exactly what your job was to do for them and how it worked out.
No, sure thing. So first off, they said like, we don't know where to put you.
I mean, why not go for something that's even quasi-believable? I mean, maybe just shoot for the stars. I just feel like this is very easily, like, you know, verifiable. Like, no, that name's not there.
Yeah.
That never happened.
And then the sports science guy was the one guy. He's like, hey, I got some data. I'm interested. So we took in his data, and then we found out that these players, what happens is it's like a player, as they run around, they get a certain fatigue level. So if you ever played Street Fighter, the video game, there's like a red bar at the top, and every time you get hit, the red bar goes down until you die, KO, right? So then we're trying to figure out kind of what that is for a player on an injury level, right? There's an injury bar that gets knocked down and that gets KO'd.
This is insane. He convinced an.
That's amazing, though. I'm very happy that happened. I'm happy that's a part of history, and that, like, you know, it's just part of the story now. I think this is great. Yeah, someone actually thought, hey, here's something that convinces investors. So I won a Super Bowl by basically, you know, being the whiz kid who decided that why don't we treat football players like video game characters, and then when they hit so many hit points, they die, game over. So if you want to press continue and put a quarter into the machine, here's what you got to do, and it worked.
Owner of the Yankees that he won a Super Bowl
by
turning
quotient.
Sports athletes into Street Fighter characters. And of course, none of it's true. The Philadelphia Eagles responded to a fact check saying he never worked for their player analysis team. Not only that, the Eagles also said that Eddie did try to do an in-person presentation in March of 2018, but that was already a month after the Eagles had already won the Super Bowl. And also they didn't hire him because of course not. Meaning there's no way this story is true. And yet he's convinced people at the highest levels of sports that it is. And this is where we get back to CryptoZoo, of course, because it's how he got involved with that project. Remember?
I mean, if it wasn't like such a shiesty scam, I feel I could do this. I feel like I was born for this role, just showing up and being like, no. So I'm actually partly responsible for the latest FIFA World Cup victory. No, I basically thought that what if I employed some of the things that are done in, these are called RPGs. It's short for role-playing game. And then sometimes there's tactical role-playing games or tactical RPGs, if you will. And what if based on the turn-based assessment, and we could use this just by the raw data, you could see the hit points, how much magic and spells they were capable of casting, that kind of stuff. What if I converted that to the world of football? Would that have an effect? And it turns out I was right all along.
Remember Jeff Levin, Logan's manager,
They'd all
who
invest.
spoke to last time? Well, he also spoke to Adam
FIFA
Ross,
Fantasy Tactics,
and when he
that's
told
what I
him
called
the
it.
reasons he
Damn,
liked
it's got a
Eddie,
name.
They sounded very familiar.
And did he tell you, I guess, kind of like about like working with the NFL and that kind of stuff and the whole, like his time in the CIA and all that?
He did. And it was interesting. It was like, this is wild, you know, like, that's pretty cool. But he's, once again, he's humble and he's not like ever bragging or anything like that.
Wait, but he is bragging. He literally made it all up. The CIA, NFL stories aren't true. How could that not be bragging? But that's the impression Eddie gave off. But that's not all. Because Eddie didn't just use made-up stories to get in with the CryptoZoo team. He also used his other connections, his real millionaire and billionaire friends that he's managed to gain with all these fake stories. And some of them vouched for him. People like Chris Birch and Todd Morley.
And what was the thing that kind of like sold you on Eddie? Was it the fact that like Chris and Todd and people like that kind of like have backed him in the past and like?
I just think he's a down-to-earth, cool, humble guy.
Okay.
who's been super successful. They're trying to do an agenda.
What a guy.
Kind of like, hey,
what a
look,
guy.
super
Just a
smart at
dude.
What I know, and
you know,
I have amazing relationships through business that I've done.
It's incredible. I mean, how does this guy keep getting away with it? Honestly, it's baffling. But I've got to say, up till now, everyone's been fooled sort of fair and square on the same grounds. But I found out CryptoZoo did have an advantage that could have saved them all this trouble the whole time.
So a month before the launch of CryptoZoo, I got on the phone with Jeff Levin, Logan Paul's manager. And after he spoke fondly of Eddie and his work, I confronted him about some of Eddie's lies, including how he didn't work for the NFL. Jeff told me he doesn't know much about the NFL, but he knows about the business world. And Chris Birch and Todd Morley vouched for Eddie. And so Jeff and Logan were going to continue working with him.
Have you ever verified that anything Eddie said about himself is true?
We verified that it's true.
Yeah.
We definitely talk to people.
Okay.
And his friends and and people that he said he has relationships with, which we've confirmed them for sure.
Okay, because I had trouble with some of that, like with the NFL, like saying that, like, no, we've never worked with him, and that kind of thing.
Pretty obvious.
But you've had
the NFL saying that.
Yeah.
Like who at the NFL?
The comms teams for the Eagles and the Dolphins, and then people specifically that he named to keep it.
Who would have the audacity? Oh, well, you're talking to the wrong guys. Oh, the comms team. For both teams.
You work with.
They can't be trusted.
Got it. I don't know necessarily the football stuff.
Okay.
I don't have relationships in the football world.
Yeah. Sure.
But in the business world,
I don't either.
We've definitely, talked to multiple people.
Like Todd and Chris, and they backed him.
Correct.
Wait a second. This means at minimum, Jeff knew about Eddie's background beforehand, or part of it, and still decided to go with him. This is just unbelievable, willful stupidity. And since Jeff is Logan's manager, I assume him and the team should have known about this as well. But still, they went forward with it even though they knew this stuff before launch. Now, I started to reach out for comment about this because obviously this is a huge deal. But when I did, I got a call from somebody new. Someone with a different perspective that I hadn't heard from before. Jake, the Crypto King. He's been involved with some of Logan's projects in the past, like Pokemon, for example. He was called the Collectibles Guru a few years ago. Nowadays, he goes by Crypto King, and he's an advisor for the CryptoZoo project. So let's add him to the conspiracy board. But the question is, what did he have to say? I took a call with him, and he mostly wanted to talk off the record. But when I pressed him, he was willing to at least put one thing on the record for me.
Right. One more thing about Eddie before we get off of him. We actually...
The biggest reason it failed, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to ever be thought that Logan's the reason it failed. He's not. Logan wasn't smart enough for what he tried to build. And then when it was built and was failing, didn't have the ability to correct it and to save face and reputation, it was more convenient to pull out than to be associated with a failing project that the dev rocked. So I could put that one sentence on the record.
Well, that is certainly emphatic. Crypto King says it's all Eddie's fault. And this is a nice...
Did he just say? Yeah, Stitchins, like Logan's too dumb? He's too dumb to be the reason that this whole thing fell apart? Oh, no, not Logan. He's too stupid. Yeah, he has no idea what's going on. He was just like, I want money. And we're like, okay, we'll try to make you money. He's like, money? That's all that happened.
Neat theory for us. You know, Eddie ruined everything because, yeah, Eddie is a liar. So it does seem to explain how these developers got screwed. But this theory doesn't fit all the facts because Eddie was kicked off the team months ago. And still, the game is not working, despite Logan claiming they were going to go back and fix all the problems.
Again, retroactively working to make these projects right, and this takes time, bro. It just takes time. Development takes time. Working backwards to fix things, which isn't ideal, but also this project will speak for itself.
And now, you know, we're working backwards to try to fix it.
This just hasn't happened. Even a year from launch, the game just doesn't exist. What's worse is the newest dev team who came on after Eddie just quit. And one of the reasons was they hadn't been paid for over a month. I know this because Logan's team is leakier than the Titanic and someone told me that, but we also have blockchain evidence. This is Jeff paying Block Ops, the company they hired out on July 19th. They were supposed to redo all this work. It's confirmed by their leader, Skip, talking about a first monthly payment on that day. But after that, there's nothing until they quit on September 26th in a post called Our Departure from CryptoZoo. Now, I do have to say, it does look like they were eventually paid, but only a day after they quit. And this is just the same problem as before, slightly different. Nobody can pay these devs on time, and investors end up getting nothing. And so I can't buy into the idea that Eddie's at fault for everything, because when Eddie was gone, they had a lot of the same problems. Now, it was only at the point that this dev team quit, Block Ops, that things really took a turn. Because if the Titanic was leaking before, now it was sinking, and everyone basically gave up hope. You know, from every direction, I started getting messages from all the investors who felt betrayed, who up to this point were holding on to hope. Now they felt defeated. They felt tricked by the CryptoZoo team who had fed them promise after promise, and they were sick of it.
He was never in the chat or anything, never apologized or told us anything.
Things didn't work out. Things didn't work out. We all get that. But to continuously lie, lead people on, hype people up, to put more money in, all the while in the background, things are going down, things are hitting the fan.
Oh yeah.
And
it's like it's scumbaggy on every level, but it just gets worse and worse and worse. So to basically think that this is a good venture to go down that I should pull my fans into, super scumbaggy. To then go forward and launch even though things are kind of rocky, super scumbaggy. To see how bad things are going and then continue to promote it and be like, well, we're getting a better dev team, we're gonna fix all the problems, we're gonna launch, finally the eggs will crack, all that kind of stuff. Obscenely scummy. And then to know the whole thing's falling apart, but then to just be like, I'm not going to say anything at all, and be like, we're working on another project, it's going to be even better than that one. But people put in lots of money. Some people put in 50,000, 100,000, blah blah blah. Say what you will about people being suckers or rubes and they should have never invested a cent into this, fine, but that doesn't change the scumbag behavior. And the vast majority, unfortunately, of the millions and millions of Logan Paul fans, they're going to be small little baby investors like, oh, I just want to be part of the thing, I want to be part of daddy's community, yeah sure, I'm going to put like $25 into it, $50 into it.
Holding the bag.
I know it was my decision, and I did my research, but I believe nobody has to lose money in this way.
And that's when a whistleblower stepped forward and decided enough was enough. They decided to leak me messages, team messages, from the CryptoZoo team from all the way back in the beginning when they thought of this idea, all the way up to launch. And seeing that, it changed everything.
You gotta love how they go to CoffeeZilla instead of going to anywhere else, because like mainstream media and press is not caught up to this at all. They're kind of still like, so that cryptocurrency is quite neat. You say it's on a chain of blocks. Are these a small amount of blocks affixed to a chain or something? I bet it's just some crazy internet stuff. Yeah, so should people put all their money inside?
Because all of a sudden, I got a lot of new information. Remember how Jake, the Crypto King, said Eddie was the only problem? Well, a year ago, he was saying something very different. On the day of launch, He said this to the group: "Logan, you stole 40 million in tokens from me. You are a scam artist. You are a liar, and you betrayed your own community. You aren't that guy." Logan replies, "Oh, Jake, trust me, bro. I am that guy."
You're gonna change the whole recording. Yeah, I'll go on the record for you, and yes, I'm gonna show you the text message that say we can sell at these ascending market caps, and that it's not like I was trying to rug a project. It's like I put 200.
And again, the tears and tears and tears. What that person said earlier, who was just like, "Oh, this couldn't have been Logan Paul because he's too stupid to realize or know how to do this. He wouldn't be able to scam anyone. No, he's too dumb." No, not as such. Seems like he's pretty happy about the scams.
$50,000 into a project.
He straight up broed out. He's like, "Oh, bro, I'll fuck you, bro. I already did, bro. It's over, bro."
Plus 6 months of time. And the founder never did anything he said he was going to do, and then hired a bunch of devs that didn't do what they were going to do. And every time I gave advice, the advice was I was told. So there was nothing illegal about that. Ethically, arguable. The rest that Logan did to me was ethically wrong and illegal.
Epic. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.